Now we go to our exercise number 2. In this case, we have S in the left side equals V1 plus V2 inside the parentheses multiplying this T. And all of this is divided by 2. Again, notice, we have a fraction equals a fraction because S, if we add the 1 underneath, is basically a fraction. So for this case, we have to solve for V1, okay? And V1, notice that is trapped inside of the parentheses. So we have to eventually take it out from the parentheses, okay? But notice here, in the denominator of the right fraction, we have a 2 only, okay? So let's get rid of these 2 first in order to get rid of fractions, okay? So notice that this 2 is dividing all of this, right? All of this. So to get rid of something that is dividing, we have to do the opposite, which is multiplication. So let's rewrite the equation first. Let's first get rid of these 2, okay? Because if you recall, we have a fraction equals a fraction. So it's very straightforward to get rid of these 2, okay? So to get rid of these 2 that is dividing, we multiply by 2 both sides. So this way, these 2 and these 2 will automatically cancel. So these 2 will multiply this letter S. So when you multiply a number and a letter, they just come together. So we will just have 2S equals the left side, which is V1 plus V2, and all of this multiplied by T. Now, notice that we have this V1 adding this V2 and multiplying this T that is outside here. So all of this is multiplying this T. So the next step is to get rid of this T that is multiplying all of this right here, okay? So let's get rid of that T. Notice that this T is multiplying all of this. So to get rid of something that is multiplying, the opposite will be divide by T both sides. Therefore, this T that is multiplying all of this and this T that is dividing is gone. Okay? Notice that this T is outside of the parentheses, so we could actually cancel it. And in here, there's nothing to cancel, so we are left with 2S over T equals, now in the right side, we are left with V1 plus V2. Okay? Now, the final step is to leave the V1 by itself because we have to solve for V1. That means that we have to leave it by itself in this side. So we have to move this V2 to the other side. So it's adding, so the opposite is subtracting. So minus V2 here. So this V2 will cancel, and we are left with this term minus V2, okay? So we will have 2S over T minus V2 equals V1. And that's gonna be our solution.